Ever wished you could step into a robot, and like explore the world through its eyes? Today we're diving into the Obelisk 2,
Okay.
a telepresence robot that's making that sci-fi dream a reality.
Yeah.
All thanks to a team of passionate creators and some seriously cool VR tech.
And the best part is we're not just talking about, watching a robot on a screen. Like, this is full-on immersion.
Yeah.
Like, you're behind the controls, seeing, hearing, maybe even feeling what the robot does.
Okay, now that's what I call a deep dive.
Yeah.
So who are the masterminds behind this
A mastermind.
marvel of engineering?
Yeah, so meet the Assort team.
Okay.
They're a group of self-proclaimed robot enthusiasts from Hungary
Wow.
who describe themselves as mercenaries who solve technological problems.
Okay.
These folks are the definition of passion project. They compete in robot building competitions, tinker in their workshop, and they even co-founded a whole robotics association, all while holding down full-time jobs.
Wow, talk about dedication.
Right.
It sounds like they've poured their heart and soul into this.
You really have, yeah.
But what sparked the idea for the obelisk in the first place?
So it all started back in 2016 with a competition called Hungarians on Mars.
Hungarians on Mars. Okay, you've got my attention.
Yeah, it's a big deal over in Hungary.
Yeah.
Like a proving ground for all sorts of innovative robotics projects.
Right.
The Assort team saw it as the perfect opportunity to explore the fusion of telepresence, that ability to be somewhere remotely, with the immersive power of virtual reality, and thus the Obelisk project, or Bástya, as they call it in Hungarian, was born.
So they basically set out to build a real-life avatar that you could control from VR.
Exactly.
That's ambitious.
Very much so. And they pulled it off.
Wow.
Now, don't go picturing some sleek, futuristic robot straight out of a movie.
Okay.
The Obelisk 2 is all about functionality and transparency. They actually designed it without a cover so you can see all the inner workings.
Interesting choice.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense if you're trying to demystify robotics and show people how things work.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk nuts and bolts.
Okay.
What makes this robot tick?
So at its core, the Obelisk 2 is a rolling, seeing, exploring machine.
Okay.
It's got these stereoscopic cameras with super wide fisheye lenses that capture a 180-degree view of its surroundings.
Wow.
And remember those omnidirectional wheels we talked about earlier?
How could I forget? It's not every day you hear about wheels that can move in any direction.
Right. We're talking sideways, diagonally, you name it.
Crazy.
These wheels are the real deal. Heavy-duty ones from Mechas Robo.
Okay.
Apparently, the team initially explored building their own Omni wheels.
Oh, wow.
But they quickly realized that for this project, it was smarter to use readily available high-quality components.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to leave it to the experts.
Right.
Especially in complex projects like this.
For sure.
So we've got the wheels, the vision. How does the actual controlling work? What's the user's experience like?
Okay, so imagine this.
Okay.
You slip on a VR headset.
Okay.
Grab a 3-axis joystick, kind of like what you'd use for gaming.
Right.
And suddenly, you're inside the robot looking out through its eyes.
Wow, talk about immersive.
Yeah, and it's not just about seeing. As you move your head, the robot's head mimics your movements, thanks to head tracking technology.
Right.
It's like stepping into your own personal avatar.
Okay, now that's what I call next-level telepresence.
Yeah.
But I know there's got to be some serious software wizardry happening behind the scenes to make all this work.
Oh, you're telling me? Yeah. They've built a whole software ecosystem from the ground up.
Wow.
It's like they've orchestrated this whole symphony of programs, each playing its part to create this seamless experience.
Okay, so walk me through this software symphony. Where do we even begin?
So at the heart of it all is their custom Python program.
Okay.
They even gave it a cool name.
Okay.
Assort Robot Controller.
I like it.
Yeah, think of it as the robot's brain, like a central hub that relays commands between you, the robot, and the virtual world, which is powered by Unreal Engine.
Hold on, Unreal Engine?
Yes.
As in the platform used to create those mind-blowing video games?
The one and only.
Wow.
And it's not as far-fetched as you might think.
Okay.
Unreal Engine is incredibly powerful. It's flexible, perfect for robotic simulations and visualizations.
Right.
In this case, it's what allows you to see and interact with that super realistic virtual environment.
Okay, so the controller is the brain.
Right.
Unreal Engine is the virtual playground.
Yeah.
How do they communicate?
They speak the same language thanks to something called TCP socket connections.
Okay.
It's basically a way for different programs to send and receive data over a network.
Right.
Imagine sending digital telegrams back and forth.
Okay.
That's the gist.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
But why Python for the controller?
Yeah.
Isn't that language known for being, well, a bit slow?
You're right. Python isn't really known for its speed.
Right.
But what it lacks in raw processing power, it makes up for in readability and ease of use.
Okay.
Remember, the Assort team, they're all about accessibility and open sourcing their work. Python allows them and others to easily understand and tinker with the code.
So it's like choosing clarity over trying to squeeze out every millisecond of performance.
Exactly. Oh. And they're not ignoring performance altogether.
Right.
They've cleverly optimized the code to minimize lag and ensure a smooth control experience.
Wow.
It's all about striking that balance.
Very clever.
Yeah.
So we've got the robot's brain, the virtual environment, and a way for them to chat.
Right.
What role does Unreal Engine play in all this?
Yeah.
Is it just about creating a pretty picture?
Not at all.
Okay.
Remember those OKD cameras?
Yeah.
The robot's secret weapon for perception? Unreal Engine is crucial for processing and visualizing all that data those cameras are collecting.
So instead of just seeing a bunch of numbers, the user gets a visual representation of what the robot is sensing.
Precisely.
Okay.
Imagine you're wearing that VR headset, looking through the robot's eyes.
Right.
Unreal Engine takes the raw data from the cameras, object locations, distances, even depth information, and transforms it into an interactive three-dimensional map of the surroundings.
Wow.
It's like having X-ray vision for robots.
Now that's what I call immersive.
Right.
But it gets even wilder, right?
It does.
They've also created a virtual version of the Obelisk.
They did.
Inside the virtual world.
Yeah.
It's like robot inception.
I know, right?
That's so cool.
And this virtual twin is more than just a cool visual trick.
Right.
It's a really powerful tool for testing and safety.
Okay, I'm all ears. How so?
So imagine you want to try out a new control scheme.
Right.
Or test a different AI algorithm. Instead of risking a crash with the physical robot, they can experiment freely in the virtual world.
Yeah.
It's like having a digital safety net for their tinkering.
That's incredibly smart.
Yeah.
And it shows a real commitment to doing things right, not just rushing into things.
Absolutely. And their long-term vision for the Obelisk 2 goes way beyond just tinkering.
Okay.
They see it as a platform for exploration, research, and even education.
Now, those are some big dreams.
Yeah.
Tell me more about how they envision the Obelisk shaping the future.
So imagine a future where you could send a robot in your place to hazardous environments, like disaster zones or even other planets, all from the comfort of your living room.
Now that's a future I can get behind.
Right. Yeah. And with the rapid advancements in areas like 5G connectivity, it's not as far off as we might think.
Yeah.
But their vision isn't limited to just exploration.
Right.
They also see enormous potential in research, particularly in fields like robotics, AI, and how humans and robots can better interact.
It makes sense having a robust platform like this could really accelerate research in those areas.
Absolutely. And they haven't forgotten about the importance of education.
Right.
They're really passionate about inspiring the next generation of tech innovators by giving them hands-on experience with robotics.
It's one thing to read about robotics, but it's a whole other level to actually control one through VR.
Oh, for sure.
Talk about a memorable learning experience.
Definitely, yeah. And they're already developing educational materials and workshops around the Obelisk, too.
Wow.
Making this cutting-edge technology accessible to students of all ages.
That's inspiring.
Yeah.
But let's not forget,
yeah,
building something this complex doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
I'm sure they encountered their fair share of challenges along the way.
Oh, absolutely. Every great invention has its share of hurdles. In the next part, we'll take you behind the scenes to explore those challenges and the ingenious solutions they came up with.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're wrapping up our exploration of the Obelisk 2.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good behind-the-scenes peek at the challenges of building something this awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, it's where the real ingenuity shines through.
Yeah.
Remember those omnidirectional wheels that allow the Obelisk 2 to move like a chessboard queen?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, before settling on those heavy-duty ones from Nexus Robot, they actually dove headfirst into building their own...
Wait, really? Why go through all that trouble?
I know.
Like, you could just buy them.
It's the maker spirit in them, you know?
Yeah.
They initially figured they could create a more budget-friendly solution with 3D printing and readily available parts.
Okay.
It's a testament to their drive to tinker and experiment.
So what happened?
Yeah.
Why the change of plans?
So it turns out crafting those wheels to handle the Obelisk 2's size and weight. Yeah.
And to be robust enough?
Right.
Required a level of precision engineering that was beyond their workshop's scope.
Right.
It's like they say, sometimes it's wiser to use readily available, high-quality components than to reinvent the wheel.
You're telling me. Speaking of clever choices, their use of Bosch profiles for the robot's chassis really caught my attention.
Oh, yeah.
It's not every day you see industrial-grade parts in a passion project.
Right. And there's a good reason for it.
Yeah.
So Bosch profiles are like high-tech Legos for building sturdy structures.
Okay.
By using these pre-made aluminum extrusions, they saved a ton of time and ended up with a more durable, modifiable frame.
Wow.
Plus, they documented the exact parts they used, making it easy for others to replicate their design.
Talk about a win-win.
Right.
It seems like every step of the way, they were balancing innovation with practicality, especially when it came to like the whole obstacle avoidance challenge.
You'd think a robot this advanced would have all the fancy sensors for navigation, right?
You'd think so, right? But remember, this team loves a good challenge.
Yeah.
Instead of relying solely on things like LiDAR or sonar, they pushed the boundaries of those OKD cameras even further.
So they're using the cameras, the ones meant for object detection and depth perception, to help the Obelisk 2
exactly.
and avoid bumping into things.
Exactly. It's a testament to their ingenuity and resourcefulness.
Right.
They were able to leverage the tech they already had in a really creative way to solve a complex problem.
Okay, color me impressed, but I have to imagine it wasn't all smooth sailing.
Oh, of course not,
What were some of the biggest hurdles they encountered during development?
So one major challenge was dealing with the sheer volume of data from those 4 OKD cameras. We're talking a constant stream of images, object detection calculations, depth information. It's a lot to process. Especially when you're aiming for like a seamless VR experience.
Yeah, lag would definitely kill the magic of telepresence.
Exactly.
How did they overcome that hurdle?
It was a combination of smart optimization and clever hardware choices.
Okay.
They streamlined their code to only transmit like essential data and prioritize the most critical information.
Gotcha.
Plus, remember those microtic routers they use?
Yeah.
Those were specifically chosen for their high bandwidth capabilities to handle all that data without breaking a sweat.
They really did think of everything.
Yeah.
But even with meticulous planning, I'm sure there were unexpected hiccups.
And of course,
Any uh-oh moments during development?
Yeah, I'm sure there were plenty of glitches and bugs and the occasional system crash.
Right.
But that's all part of the journey.
Yeah.
What matters is that they use those moments as learning experiences to refine their design and make it even better.
So true. Taking a step back and like looking at the big picture, what's been the most remarkable aspect of the Obelisk 2 project for you?
Honestly, it's their unwavering commitment to open source sharing and making robotics accessible to everyone.
Right.
They could have kept this technology under wraps.
Yeah.
But they chose to share their knowledge, their code, their triumphs, and even their stumbles with the world.
Yeah.
That's the true spirit of innovation.
Absolutely. By sharing their journey, they're inspiring countless others to explore the exciting world of robotics.
Yeah.
Who knows what incredible creations will stem from their passion and generosity.
Exactly. The Obelisk 2 is a true testament to the power of curiosity, collaboration, and the belief that we can achieve really extraordinary things when we work together.
Well said. For all our listeners out there, let the story of the Obelisk 2 be a reminder.
Right.
If a group of passionate hobbyists can achieve something this remarkable, just imagine the possibilities that await.
Yeah.
when you dare to dream big and build boldly.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning,
Yeah.
and keep diving deep.